he just pursued and made it a point to make sure he talked to me almost every day.
Hello?
Hello?
Babe?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Oh.
And because he couldn't get into that account, it was locked, he had to pay $15,000 with the initial amount, and I had the money.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
Over a period of more than 9 months, I would say Perry Anderson received $83,000 from me.
On today's episode, we speak to a woman named Stephanie who is in an online relationship with a man who claims his name is Perry. The two met on the dating app Silver Singles and have been communicating through messages and phone calls. Stephanie has sent over $80,000 trying to meet this man in person to get him home safely. Let's see if we can dive in and help her get some answers. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Hello, I'm Stephanie, and I'm a registered nurse. Like to work out, so I go to the gym probably about 5 days out of the week. I also like to swim and try to keep active and do things that are wonderful to keep me in shape. I try to watch what I eat and stay healthy as possible. I was married for 31 years. My husband was the love of my life. Ended up having 2 children, a son and a daughter. We would do all kinds of things together as a family. It's just a very sad situation that has happened when he decided he didn't want to be with us anymore. And we had talked to him the evening before to get him help. We wanted to take him to a social worker. We would take him to a psychiatrist. We offered all these different things for him. Didn't want to do it. But I can say that I don't have any regrets, and that he was a wonderful man, and he was my husband. So, and we fell in love, and to death did we part. So that's kind of how that happened.
After the passing of Stephanie's husband in December of 2021, she was left alone. After a few years of grieving, she decided to get back out there and meet some new people by opening a dating profile.
So I went on to a social media site called Silverlights, which is for older individuals to meet each other. And that's how I met him. We matched like at 149. I've never been in the 150, 149s. So we were very compatible based upon the number indicated on our match. He was a perfect match for me. And so that was the first time I was involved with social media site. The individual's name is Perry Anderson, and he looks Scandinavian. He has light brown hair, at least 6'1". He's fairly thin and in shape. He looks to me like he could be even a model. He seems to be very attractive. His photo looked like it was a professional photo. Well, he would call me Steph or honey, my love, those type of things. And he was very endearing. He knew how to make me feel loved, and he wanted to make sure that I knew that first month that he loved me very much and wanted to get to know me. He would call me or talk with me almost every day. He has some fluent language, but their English is not his first language. I think there's a little bit of an accent.
Hello?
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 Babe?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Oh.
The first few weeks of the two chatting were great. They were excited to hear from each other every day and night. The only thing in the way of the two meeting in person was Perry's engineer contract in Turkey.
He just pursued and made it a point to make sure he talked to me almost every day and letting me know how much he cared about me, how much he loved me, and how he really wanted me to be his wife. And I told him that I was not ready to get married, but he said, okay, well, I'll wait for you. When you're ready, we'll get married and I will take care of you and be with you and love you. Later on, he started being more sexually explicit and wanting to interact in a more sexual way. Wanted to, while he could see me. And he wanted to see me without my clothes on. He really demonstrates that he's invested in me as an individual and that he loves me and he wants to care for me. He wants to have with me and that it's important for him to know that he is very active and that he can be aroused very easily and demonstrate that by sending me sexual pictures.
After a few months of the two chatting every day, things became serious. Perry told Stephanie he was close to completing his job, but he needed to pay $15,000 to leave the country.
I think it was 2 months into our relationship, so it was probably sometime in November. He was having financial difficulty, but he said, no, I need your help because I'm in Istanbul and I can't get access to the account and I need to transfer these monies. And that he can't get into that account where he had $4 million. And because he couldn't get into that account, it was locked, he had to pay $15,000 was the initial amount. And I had the money. And because he was working there, these were charges or expenditures that needed to be paid before he could leave the country. So he could not go to the airport and leave until he paid these expenditures. So he used that money and needed me to transfer it through Coinbase. And he showed me how to get him the money so that it could be transferred to him and he would have access to it.
Once the request for money started, it seemed to never stop. Perry would need more money to pay taxes and hospital fees.
Well, with those few weeks that went by, it kind of fell apart again. And he said he was going to need more money. So he was going to need about $9,000. And so I got him $9,000 and I transferred it because he said this would help him and would meet the government's need for the money. And then in 2022, he started having cardiac problems and needed a pacemaker, needed a defibrillator, needed to have medications and things. And I just said, well, you can't have a pacemaker and a defibrillator. You have to have, he was just saying things. I'm a registered nurse. So he was just saying things that medically were not right. And I said, your physician doesn't sound like they know what they're talking about. And no, I'm not going to give you any more money so that they can do the cardiac procedures on you. So that made him mad, of course. And then he said I didn't love him, I didn't care for him, and that I was putting him at risk of not being able to stay alive. And he even tries to order me around when it came to the money, that I had to give him money. And then he'll even start crying if I say no. And one time he was so upset, he said he ran out into the street and almost got hit by a car because he was so distraught that I wasn't able to help him with some money so that he could get on a regular or a private plane with support from the ambulance. And he said he needed $15,000 so that he could get him to an ambulance and then go to a private plane and then be flown to where I live. And then an ambulance would bring him to my home and he would be here for me. When the day came when he was supposed to leave, after I'd given him the money for the ambulance, he couldn't show up. He didn't make it. Over a period of more than 9 months, I would say Perry Anderson received $83,000 from me in various increments, and it wasn't the same amount each time. It was variable. And so I just put it into a spreadsheet so that I could keep track, because I was starting to lose track of what I was doing. When did I do that transaction, and how much was it? So the money actually came from my checking account, because I had extra money put aside. And then finally I had to pull some from my retirement fund, which then I have to pay taxes on. And so that was very painful. So once that happened, I just said, there's no more. There's no way I'm going to give any more. It has to stop. When he starts this interaction of wanting to love me and says he loves me, and then tries to interact with me in a sexual way, it gives me a feeling of being loved and wanted and cared for. But then within a matter of days, he's asking for money again. And then I feel used, and that he's manipulating me in order to get more money from me, instead of really trying to get out of there and come home. Because if he has all this money, why can't he get to it? And he gives me all these excuses. There may be an opportunity for us to have a relationship, but I don't know. My gut is telling me it's not true. I don't believe he really is the real person, but another side of me really would like him to be real and pay me back the loan that I gave him in full. And he even says he's going to give me interest on top of that. He's someone that I could be with in the future if he were truly who he says he is. That creates a sense of hope and yearning to be with someone when you're alone and you've lost a spouse. And so he fills that void in a way that makes me feel better about having social interaction versus being alone and by myself. So there's still an emotional tie to him that I really am not ready to give up yet. That's how he's affected me in a very, I guess, positive way, but yet he's affected me in a negative way also. There's a part of me that really doesn't want to believe that he would actually do this to me.
The next day, our team sat down to come up with a game plan. We needed to show Stephanie the truth.
So this is Stephanie. She's 61 years old. She's in contact with a man named Perry, who's an engineer. She sent him $83,000 to finish a project for hospital fees because he got hurt on the job.
We have the documents up here. I'm just right off the bat noticing some inconsistencies. You know, she has this promissory note where he's basically promising her the money that he had, taken from her. Just reading it right off the bat, I mean, she didn't sign it herself. The same goes for the invoice. What do you think, Bree? I noticed that there's like a website listed on the invoice.
I actually looked into the website on the invoice, and unfortunately, the website never even existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perry sent Stephanie several documents, but none of them seemed to be legit. We were able to track down the real man in these images, so stick around until the end as we break down everything we found to her.
People shouldn't be allowed to mess with women like this. Really, these people are messing with our emotions and our feelings.
If you've made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We appreciate you so much. It was now time to sit down with Stephanie and go over everything that we had found.
So Stephanie, our search specialist team looked into all of the information that you sent over to us.
I want the truth. I want to know really what's going on. That's what I want to have happen here, because even though I give him money, I don't know what is happening with the money. I don't know if it's really being used to what he says it's being used for.
And Stephanie, you've helped this guy out so much. Every time he's asked for something or needed you to help with something, you've come to his aid. What is it about him, and what is he telling you to get you to believe, that this whole thing could be true?
That he loves me, that when he does get on that plane, he's coming to my home, He's going to come and we're going to be together for the rest of our lives. He's going to take care of me. He's going to pay me back with interest, and that he truly loves me, and that I'm the only one for him, and there is no one else. There's no one else for him other than me. And so with that, he voices his love, and then there is sexual undertones that end up happening. And like last night, he said he did a picture of me naked. I do love him. I do care for him. But at this point, I don't trust him.
We definitely looked through all the details, especially when it came to the chats. So we were trying to see if there was any information that we could pull from these chats, anything that he had shared with you. And something that kept popping up was this picture.
Yes. Okay.
So, and just so you know, in our line of work, this is not new to us. People send us pictures and pictures of other parts of their body all of the time.
He was very persistent, and he would want me to go topless and show him my body. And so there were times that happened.
But what we did do is we took this picture and ran it through our reverse image search tool. And what we had found was a match. And it linked back to a popular adult film actor.
Oh. Okay.
When we dug into this photo, obviously the guy in, that this belongs to looks nothing like the guy that you think you're talking to. Why would he send you a photo of another man's?
Maybe he's not as big as he says he is. He says he's at least 8 inches. So the picture could be that. I don't know. But what is he really? I don't know.
Something else we noticed through the chats was the popular conversation was either, sex or sending and receiving money.
Absolutely. Yeah, he needed the attention, and it was to engage me so that I felt that I loved him. And if I loved him, then he knew that if he asked for money, it would be convincing enough to have me send it. And he asked me that last night. You never really loved me, did you? And it was like, yes, I loved you. Of course I loved you. And I have feelings for you. But I can't give you money. I can't give you the money you're asking for.
So in regard to the immigration document that you sent over, it's titled Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey. So if you went onto the website itself, there's a whole section here for visas, how to apply, visa information. There's nowhere on here where I would receive a document such as this. And this document doesn't even have a title. It just generally saying this is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it's not telling you exactly what it's for. When you read the text, it's not 100% clear. There's no way for me to validate this document because I cannot find such document on that site of the government of Turkey.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know.
So for the Istanbul Municipal Council, you received an invoice, correct?
Correct.
We wanted to look into the address, and we wanted to look into the website and validate everything. Immediately, we found when using website verification tools that this website actually never existed.
Yeah, I didn't believe any of the documents he sent me. But see, that's after I already gave him the money. Or was it? I think there was one time I gave him money after he gave me the promise to repay me the $86,000 I had given him if I paid him the last time. And with that, it was right before the holidays. I was very vulnerable, and I wanted to see him during Christmas, and he was going to come before Christmas, and then it fell apart. And then it was New Year's he was going to come after I'd given him the money, and he still didn't come. So after that, it was like game over. There's no more. There's no more to discuss here. And to me, those documents didn't have any validity anyway. There was no need for me to go and investigate him because I knew those documents weren't real.
We want to end this. We know who the guy in the photos is.
Yeah, so we took all of the images that you'd sent over to us of Perry, and we were able to find a match. Perry is not Perry. The real person in the image, his name is Alan, and he's a guitarist. He's a music producer.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. So what does this guy really look like then? That's the question.
He is the man in the images that you've grown a relationship with, right? But his images have been stolen. He has a completely different personality, completely different name, occupation, but unfortunately he's also a victim in this as well because, you know, someone's stolen his images for the purpose of financial gain.
It makes me, I'm disappointed. It's confirming why I was seeing the red flags, why I thought it's probably not him. It's a relief to know that he is a scammer, and this guy is saying things and lying to me, but he'll turn around and say that I lie. So he's good. He's good at what he's doing. So he's playing the game well.
And listening to his voice, from our expertise, we've been doing this, you know, we've been in business for about over a decade now. We've heard all kinds of different accents. One that is super common to us and that we can tell right off the bat when it is a West African accent. And Perry, he has a West African accent.
Hello?
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 Babe?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Oh,
I was trying to move on and try to establish a new relationship with someone who I felt loved me in return. And I really did feel he loved me in return. People shouldn't be allowed to mess with women like this. Really, these people are messing with our emotions and our feelings, and it's not right. It's not fair. It's just terrible. I don't wish this on anyone. I mean, how can people just flat out lie on a continual basis? I mean, we met, October, November of 2021. That's how long this relationship's been going on with Perry, or whoever this guy is.
We want to take the wallets that were involved in this case, and what we're going to do is we're going to flag them. So we have access to crypto tools, and so we are going to use the wallets that you sent us. We're going to flag them through our tool, and so they're basically going to be on a watch, right? So they're going to see if there's any other connecting wallets or criminal activity attached to these wallets. However, we do recommend you starting with the police report because this may bring awareness to other people in the United States or in your area that are also being scammed by this same exact person. So if we can start a paper trail, what they can do from there is push this forward. And if they suspect criminal activity with a wallet, they could request a KYC. And so basically, just to explain crypto a little bit, it's not as anonymous as everyone thinks. When someone signs up for a crypto wallet, they have to provide personal information, their ID. And so this is definitely someone that owns this wallet. But in order to get to that information, we have to do our due diligence and file reports with the specific authorities to get to that point. So it may be a long road ahead, but I think that if you follow these steps, there may be some recourse in finding out who this person is behind these wallets.
And we're going to be here, to kind of guide you through this whole thing. It is, like Brianne said, it is a long road. One of the instant things that we wanted to do for you was give you access to our new tool, which is called Unfraud It. And with this tool, it's an AI system. You'll be able to drag and drop either chats or documents, photos inside a chat box, and it'll spit out and let you know, hey, this is a scam, block them, get rid of them, and move on to the next one, right?
Great. No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Anything to do to help eliminate this again, that's what it's all about. I want to confront him, and then I'm just going to delete his account. After I want him to know, I know he scammed me. I want him to know that, no, you're not going to give me back my money. You have taken my money, and you had never had an intention of paying me back. And I'm just saying, he repeatedly lied to me and made me feel something that I probably should never have felt for someone. A confirmation of that is very important, because if you have any doubt, which I had a little bit of doubt, that it might be or might, but my red flag was this can't be real. I don't believe this at all. But the fact that he was even willing to sign some of those documents as Perry Anderson when he's not even really Perry Anderson is, just speaks to how unethical he is as a person. He doesn't care. He wants to get his money any way he can.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, Seekers, we'll see you guys next time.